Join me on Thursday, May 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern for the 9 Key Ps of Digital Citizenship, sponsored by NetRef. Just go to coolcatteacher.com/NetRef and stay tuned at the end of the show to learn more about a special offer from NetRef. Hey, today we're talking about sparking your creativity in the classroom, episode 301. The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today. I am so excited about this 2-part series for our Motivational Monday. So not too long ago, I was on Amazon looking at books like I do, and I came across this awesome book called The Wildcard that I had to immediately order, 7 Steps to an Educator's Creative Breakthrough. And I saw that Wade and Hope King wrote the book. And so, of course, I got Dr. Lisa Durf, my wonderful research assistant, to start looking. And she said, you know what? Wade and Hope, work with your friend, Junior Burdenin, who is at Ron Clark Academy. So, Wade, you have come on the show, and we're going to help motivate teachers to get excited about creativity in our classrooms. Where do we start?
Yes, so excited. Thank you so much for having me on. It's one of those things where we are just pumped to share how we use creativity in the classroom for engagement. So I love to start with what's your why, kind of focusing on why you got into teaching in the first place as a teacher. So a lot of us as educators, we got into education for a particular reason and a purpose. But as you go through year after year after year, you kind of forget about why you became an educator in the first place. So reflecting on that is absolutely essential to what you do in your classroom. And you can't be creative if you don't know why you want to be creative and who you're doing it for.
Everybody can fall into a rut, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to remember your why. You got into education at the beginning of the school year because you're coming off the summer break and you're looking on Pinterest or Instagram, getting all these great ideas. But then February comes, March comes, and you get so bogged down. And so kind of reminding yourself of that and finding people who just hold you accountable to that. We all have a different reason of why we got into education, different purpose. And I like to tell teachers, yes, it's great that you love kids, but that's not enough. Why do you love kids? Why do we do what we do? Why do we wake up when it's dark outside? And some of us actually go home when it's still dark outside. So why do we put ourselves through that? Well, it's for our kids, but what do our kids need? And so focusing on that, yes, you definitely get burnt out, but it definitely helps you when you think about, okay, what am I doing this for? Really, what exactly is my reasoning for why I want to push myself to the limits and create an engaging environment for my students?
Okay, so we understand our why. We know why we're here. We also know why am I going to go to all this effort to make an exciting classroom, because that's also a why. You know, some people phone it in, but we don't phone it in because we want to be remarkable. So what's next? How can we get motivated to pull that creativity into our classroom after we know our why?
Right. I love this question because a lot of people put creativity in a certain box. This is what it has to look like. And my wife, Hope, and I, we obviously teach together here at the Ron Clark Academy. We've taught together even in public school, but her creative aspect is totally different than mine is. When we started to look and see the monotony kind of in our classroom, we started to reflect, number one, on our interest. So what makes us excited? And then we started looking at the kids. What are they interested in? For example, when I taught 5th grade math back in Pendleton, South Carolina, my girls loved Hannah Montana. Absolutely adored Hannah Montana. And so what I would do is I would literally go to Hope's mother's house, sit in the recliner, and watch Hannah Montana just so I could pull into those interests of my students. Why did I do that? Well, I did it because my students that were coming into the class, they were still giving me effort, but I could see it on their face that it was just another day. And that was the start of really honing in on creativity. I love to play music in my classroom. I love to use debate. Hope, she's very crafty. Her room, y'all, it looks like Hobby Lobby threw up all over the place. And that's because she loves that's just because she loves hands-on lessons. She loves crafting. That's her creative aspect. And throughout the years, we're really focused on that. There was a study done, I read it in a sports magazine article over a decade ago, and they were talking about how much productivity you can have in your profession if you incorporate your interests. They're not even talking about talents. If you think about that, if you are interested in something, you're going to be excited about doing it. And so we have to think about that. Yes, we can be selfish a little bit if we're teachers. We got to think about that for ourselves. How do you incorporate that into the classroom? And the same goes for our kids. If they're not interested, they're not engaged, and they really aren't going to give you their best effort. And so focusing on that and integrating those interests in your classroom, that's the beginning of understanding who you actually are, that reflective process of obtaining that creative breakthrough.
And we want them to be interested, don't we?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. You have to make learning relevant. If learning is not relevant for your students, no matter what it is, they're not going to be excited about it. People say that we're not actors and we're not this and we're not that, but at the end of the day, you are. That is your stage every single day to get your kids pumped up and excited about what you're going to present to them.
And, why not? I mean, it's so exciting when you get kids engaged. It's so exciting when you get excited and they get excited. I mean, it's almost like if you're an adrenaline junkie, teaching is the perfect profession for you because you can really have an adrenaline hit when you have an awesome class, can't you?
Absolutely. Hope says it best, and we reflect on this a lot. It's kind of like if you were at a concert or something and you were at the front of the row and you're giving it all you got, just hoping that performer looks at you and gives you a wink or a high five. That's how we should want our kids to be in the classroom too. When the performer sees that performer is going to get more amped up and more excited. So the more you pour into your kids, the more excited you are about learning, the more you share that information with enthusiasm, the more you're going to be excited about it because you're going to feed off back and forth from each other. And so being able to do that can definitely liven up your classroom to help you ignite that creative aspect.
So Wade, give us a 30-second pep talk to motivate us to really be willing to bring creativity and bring our own interests to our classroom.
Y'all, we wake up when it's dark outside. We go home when it's dark outside. A lot of us as educators, we spend more time consciously inside of our classrooms during the school week. We have got to be excited about walking into our classrooms. Just as our kids are excited about walking into the classrooms, we do a fantastic lesson. Now, do fantastic lessons have to cost a lot of money or a lot of effort? No, just be different. If all you do is play music every single day in the classroom, even that gets old. Y'all, I'm not a technology person, but if I were to use technology tomorrow to do something as simple as quizzes, oh my gosh, the kids would be blown away. We've got to start thinking differently to ignite that passion because at the end of the day, we have human beings in our classroom who potentially will change the world one day.
I love it. So educators' creativity is definitely a part of being remarkable. Not only our creativity, but the true creativity of our students. And it's not just here's a list of 20 things, you pick one. We're talking about truly letting them create and invent and do remarkable things. So the book is The Wildcard: 7 Steps to an Educator's Creative Breakthrough by Wade and Hope King. And check out next Monday where we'll be talking to Hope. On Thursday, May 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be sharing the 9 key P's of digital citizenship in a webinar sponsored by NetRef. I've written about these on Edutopia and in my book, Reinventing Writing. But I have some updates about how I teach these 9 important aspects of digital citizenship. Join us for the webinar or sign up to have the webinar emailed to you after it's completed. I appreciate NetRef for sponsoring this webinar on an important topic and for offering all attendees a free pilot of their internet management and monitoring solution. Sign up today for the webinar at coolcatteacher.com/netref. That's coolcatteacher.com/NETREF. Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.